Yeah, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com. I'm playing World of Tanks. The tank I am playing today is the Renault G1R. It's a French Tier 5 medium tank. And the map is Sacred Valley, or Pearl River. Pearl River. The map is Pearl River. This is not the first time I've played this tank, but it is definitely one of the first times that I've played the tank. And it's mostly stock. It does have the upgraded radio, and it does have the highest tier engine. However, it has the stock gun and the stock turret. You'll note that it has 100 rounds, and it reloads in 4 seconds, which is rather fast. However, I don't expect it to do a lot of damage. Definitely a stepping stone type of tank. I have played both the line of the G1R and the line of the BDR G1B, and I think I prefer the line of the BDR G1B better. Now obviously I'm going to wait until this tank fires before I go out and take a shot at him. So you note I got 2 or 3 hits on that guy, and he didn't hit me a single time. This KV-2 is aimed at me, so I'm not going to go out unless he changes his aim. But that's going to be a different situation with this tank, of course. You'll note that he's got what looks like the shorter gun. His gun can deal up to 700 damage in one shot, which is obviously enough to kill me in one shot. So that's apparently what happened, and I probably should have avoided him. But it does show you that you can do a lot of damage to higher tier tanks, such as that SU-100Y. I was just playing smart, and I only shot at him while his gun was pointed away. On this type of a situation, I would say one-on-one it's not quite as good. A tank is apparently drunk. A Matilda is another type of tank that is somewhat similar to the G1R in that it's a medium tank and it's relatively slow and it's got a fast reload. One of our tracks is damaged. However, I happen to prefer the Matilda over the Renault G1R. The gunner is dead. We're trying to cover for him. The Matilda actually has a very powerful gun. I compared the Matilda Black Prince, and the Matilda 4, which is a Russian premium tank. And this tank right here, which is a Tier 4 Matilda, had a high penetration gun compared to the other 2 tanks, even though it was a Tier 4. Excuse me. Although that might not be the stock tank. The Matilda also has very good armor. Another tank that you could compare to the G1R would be the Churchill, although this is a heavy tank, not a medium tank. But they basically play the same in that they're both slow tanks and difficult to maneuver and have a fast gun. But the Churchill is definitely far more powerful than the Renault G1R. These types of tanks are in a completely different class. Although it's a medium tank, this tank is very fast, and it's got a very good gun on it. And you can chase down a lot of enemy tanks. It looks like, you know, based on... Okay, he's capping the enemy, which is very good. Oh, we're going to win. It's very exciting. But this tank you really can't compare to the Renault G1R. They're completely different things. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade my tank if possible. I'm going to go into the research area, and I'm probably going to get this turret. You'll note that the upgraded turret has the same amount of armor, which is 60, 60, 60. The traverse speed is lower, which is 28. That means that it's actually going to be slower, which is important if a tank is circling around you, taking a shot at you. You want that traverse speed to be as high as possible. But the view range is 20 meters further, and if view range is important to you, if you do a lot of spotting and scouting, then that extra 20 meters makes a big difference, especially since 330 is on the low end in terms of other tanks in the game. So in terms of guns, we've got this one, which is the 74-110, and we've got this one, which is the 100-110. We want the 100-110. It's got 30% more penetration. This is what they would consider to be a derp gun. So if you do any missions that require a lot of damage, for example, that KV-2 killed me in one shot, this is the type of tank that can do the same type of thing. I'm going to pick this gun, and I'm going to go back to the garage, and I'm going to resupply my ammunition to get into another game. I always put this on silver so I don't accidentally buy anything out of using my gold. And the other thing, you want to occasionally go to your depot and look for modules that you have lying around and sell them. It's possible that you might actually need to reuse some of these, so use your own judgment, because some of them are compatible with tanks that you might buy in the future. And the same with your shells. You've got these that are not compatible with your guns, which means you're not going to be able to use them anymore. And they could bring in a lot of money, especially those composite rigid guns. I'm sorry, the composite rigid ammo, which sells for a lot more. Okay, so let's get into another game. You can see I have a very base crew, nothing special. Get into game number 2 with the Renault G1R. This tank is a tank that probably is not going to perform as well against most other tanks of the same tier. Therefore, it's somewhat important to avoid being spotted by the enemy. Especially in a game like this where we have tier 6 and tier 7 tanks. See, this turret is a lot different than the turret that came before it. This turret has a smaller turret above it, which has a little machine gun and an observation device, which is going to make you a very easy target. A lot of people are just going to aim for that and hit it.
Let's go.
So first, I'm going to take it into combat knowing that the armor is not that strong. For example, that T-29 in front of me has amazing armor on it compared to this little tank. So you probably want to let the bigger tanks go ahead of you. And perhaps do a little bit more spotting. So there seems to be an easier tank over here. I'm going to go and help out over here. He also seems to be dead. You'll note that my reload time is now only 3.81 seconds. I believe it was 4 seconds before. I did change the gun. I don't know why this guy is hitting me from behind. Not a very good strategy. Because you can see,
we're done for. Everyone get out.
the other player was blocking me from playing, so I'm going to report him. I mean, he hit me way too many times and blocked me from advancing and things like that, or from taking shots, etc. But that's something that happens in the game. Sometimes you confront people that really aren't good players, or they hope you die. That happens too. Okay, so that's the Renault G1R. If you have any questions or comments,